Wow, it shows 25 people on there now.
Yeah, and supposedly I'm live. I don't know if any of you folks can hear me, but we have a few technical difficulties and mix up with our presenter. So we're considering rescheduling this. If you can hear me, I don't know if you can send a message. Um, yeah. Oh, Michael says, Michael, you're in. Let me see. Let me message him. Says live recording, 32 people.
They're responding that they can see and hear you, or us maybe too.
Oh, they can see. Well, we do have 32 people. Again, I apologize to everybody. We had a little mix up with our presenter. They didn't get a calendar invite, but they're supposedly going to join in just a second. So we'll give him another minute or two. We're also having some problems with the website. So there's Chris. He just joined. Hey, Chris.
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
deepest apologies.
That's okay. We are live. We were just about to ready to reschedule because some people were saying they were having problems getting in. Are you still there, Chris?
I am. I'm here.
Okay. So anyway, I lost your screen. Do you want to try to present your deck to see if we can see? And I guess because we have an audience of 36, we will try to soldier on and get through this.
Can you see my screen?
No, I don't see your screen.
Shit, that's fine. Should now.
Now I do. So we'll go ahead and get started. I've got a bit of an introduction to do. I'll try to keep it very brief. And that time you can, I don't see you in full view, by the way. I see you in like presenter mode.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
Okay, so I'll let you work on that, and then I'll do my spiel here, and then we'll go ahead and get cranking. Okay, so folks, we apologize for the delay. We could blame it on the weather conditions, but that's not it. But we're all learning this new platform and having some challenges here and there. So hopefully we'll get most of this ironed out soon. So to get started, I'll say good morning. Welcome to the Golden Gate Chapter's presentation of Distributed Access Architecture. I am Woody Cash, SCTech Golden Gate Chapter Content Knowledge Officer. And today's presenter is Chris King, Senior Solution Architect for Harmonic. Before we get started, I'd like to talk a minute about some of the benefits of SCTE in case you are not members. So for members, you obviously get free training like this, although that's not exactly required for this. But we have so much training on our website. So I know I've helped a few people, helped mentor a few people, and worked with them to find content on the website that helped them get to the next levels of their careers, and they've done extremely well. So they were able to advance to higher opportunities, and they've been very happy with being SCTE members. I also like to let you know we do have a YouTube channel, so take a minute to look at the Golden Gate Chapter YouTube channel. We have some training there, but we also have interviews of our board of directors. Also have interviews of our Broadband Founders Club. This is a club we founded for people that had been in the industry for 30 or more years and who had made significant contributions to our industry and our society. Just upcoming, just to let you know, a little business here. We did finish our elections, so I looked last night, and unfortunately we don't have the new members on our website, but we'll be working on that, so you'll see those listed soon. We do also have, and I'm sorry I didn't collect the date, but just a reminder, in April, we will have our golf tournament and also our Vendors Day. So more information to come on that. With that, I will let Chris get started, and I will tell Chris, thank you in advance for doing this, and sorry for the mix-up.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's great to be here, and I deeply apologize. It wasn't on my calendar. Don't know how we got through that. We'll figure it out though, and if we want to do another session at another time, we can definitely do that. But again, thanks for having me. I'm Chris King. I'm been with Harmonic for about 10 years now. This is my 10th year with Harmonic. Been in the industry for a long time. I'm having some issues with my camera, so I apologize. I can show my camera, but I can't change my backdrop. And anyway, so with that, thank you for having me. I've done this presentation for several SCTE chapters. So for everybody that's new to Unified DOCSIS 4.0 and new Broadcom chipset, we'll be able to catch up on that. Again, let's dive right in. Thanks again, and we'll see if we can't get through this. And thank you for being patient with us. So there's a couple of flavors of FDX. I mean, of Unified DOCSIS. FDX being full spectrum, originally slated for 1.8, which has been released for multiple years. We've been shipping that product for a good 2 years. Then there's FDD, ESD. So you'll hear it labeled both ways. Extended spectrum, or there's a little bit of some copyright things going on there, but and then Flex FDD, and that's when we removed the diplexers from being a physical diplexer to being a soft diplexer. So I don't think you'll see anything there for a little while, maybe a couple of years or so, year and a half, before we start seeing product. But we are testing and doing demonstrations now, so a little more widely accepted in the future. So I'll throw this slide in and kind of give you the idea of kind of some of the capacities you can get using Unified DOCSIS, with different splits. So when we look at 1.8 in an FDD deployment, with a 396 ultra high split, we get speeds of 3.5 gig on the upload and 11.5 on the downside. So when we look at going with just a FDX type deployment, where you're doing the same thing, you're just using time division multiplexing on the upstreams where you're overlapping frequencies. So you look at doing a 1 gig on the downside, and you still get 6.4 down and 3.5 on the upside, as long as you're doing the ultra high split. You can squeeze a little more out when you go to a 492 megahertz on the upstream and 1.8 on the down. So then if you go to a full 684, you're almost symmetrical. And if you compare these speeds to like a PON scenario, you're getting really close, because there is overhead on both connections, probably a little bit more on the DOCSIS side, but nevertheless. And then with just DOCSIS 3.1, I saved that for last, being able to show you what kind of speed you can get with just DOCSIS 3.1, using a high split, not an ultra high split, but a high split at 204 at 1.2 gig on the down. And you're looking at, a little over a gig and a half and 8.5 on the down. So that kind of gives you a good snapshot of some of the capacities and how the networks are configured. Of course, these results are, as you know, pristine and clean, but in a lab type environment. But we can still achieve really close to these results in the field. We have some really neat tools with PMA engines and upstream noise detection on the upstream that we utilize. That'll kind of allow us to cut sections out of the noise, and that way you only have to deal with the noise on where the noise is, and not have to mess up the whole spectrum, if you will. So we'll cover a little bit of FDX first. I like live demos because you actually can see it working. So in this configuration, we're at FDX running 3.5 on the upside, and then 4.0 on the downside with two OFDMAs and still having 20 channels of standard QAM. So and you can actually just see it on the analyzer below. So you actually can see the utilization of the OFDMs and the OFDMA on the side. So you'll see it switch configurations here. And you'll see the OFDMAs go 100% utilization, and you'll see your speed change. So this is some really neat technology, being able to extend the life of your cable plant. So, looking at FDD going straight to 1.8 gig, and you look at 6 OFDMA on the upside and then 5 OFDMs on the downside, and you see the speed you're getting: 5.5 gig, 8 gig down, 8.12, and then again you can see it on the frequency analyzer in the bottom left. The neat thing about DOCSIS 4.0, when I talk about DOCSIS 4.0, when you look at DOCSIS 3.1, we're doing more of what we've been doing in the existing. We're doing more OFDMA, and we have more OFDM. So, the highway gets a little larger, and we can subdivide that out a little better. So we get the best of the plant. I think it goes without saying, but with DOCSIS 3.1, if you're at a gig, you don't have to do plant upgrades. If you go to 1.8, you got to replace some actives and passives, but some really neat stuff there once you get to that spectrum. Another slide just showing the upstream. If you look at 1.2, doing FDX on the top level and then FDD on the bottom level, you can see our upstream up to 108, and then you can see we're doing an OFDM, a couple OFDM blocks, and you can see the allocation and how the RF is actually divided into. So when we get to the bottom, you see that becomes a flexi band, soft diplex or diplexerless, and we're able to allocate bandwidth. Some really neat stuff, looking at kind of future stuff, but not so far in the future, but using some AI technology, the new buzzword for everybody, and not such a buzzword, some really cool stuff that we can do. When you look at a software diplexer and you look at a node, and with the virtual core, we have the capabilities of looking at that node, and we actually can adjust the frequency without human intervention. So if we need a little more downstream, we can feed more downstream. If we need some more upstream, we can feed more upstream. So those are some of the new things you'll see when you look at Flexi or Flex FDD. So that's pretty cool stuff, looking at future. Dedicated spectrum downstream and upstream, no frequency overlap, of course, with FDD. Controlled, your diplexer split is controlled by software. And then, like I said, better efficiency use of the spectrum, and upstream and downstream allocations is needed. So kind of gave you a prelude to that slide before we got here. But these are just some of the use cases, and anybody that had the ability to come by and at the Cable Expo this year, we're able to come and see. We actually have this running in our labs, and then we were doing a demo share of that at the expo in a live demo. So on the showroom floor. So again, these are just some configurations and and you can see kind of how it can work dynamically. High split versus ultra high split, you kind of look at that, and you can see the difference here. And again, we'll go from just a regular high split You can see it on the analyzer. We can, capture spectrum. And then we can go to, a unified upstream, and you can see the increase there to 10 gig on the download and 1.5 on the up. And then we look at the bottom side and, an ultra high split, and you go automatically to, have 1.5, 5.5 gig, and 8 gig on the downside. So very interesting technology. You can see how this can be utilized to compete with overbuilders and things of that nature, where we're looking at cable plant and versus maybe an all fiber network for some of the overbuilders, and how you're able to compete with that type technology. So again, little bit of a busy screen here, but this is demoing some of our analytics that we utilize on our virtual core, and utilizing the ultra high split at 396 and doing 4K QAM. And you can see that here in the mini slots that we're doing 4K and on the, I don't know how well you guys can see this. It's probably kind of jumbled up for you, but again, live video.
I can see it plenty well, Chris, but again, I'm on a larger screen. So if somebody's using their mobile, it might be a little tough. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm just wanted to show you how we're using 4K, on the downside and upside, you can see the difference in throughput. So, being able to add that additional frequency or bandwidth is huge. And being
Carlos
able to
is saying he's having to zoom in, but yeah, I see it. He might be using a mobile. I'm not sure. Again, I'm using a desktop with a large screen, so I can see it very well. And I miss looking at all these details. I don't have access to that anymore since retirement. But yeah, these are fun things, at least for me, fun things to look at.
Yeah, very. It's all the analytics that we collect nowadays is to me. Back in my operational days, I'm not retired, but in my operational days would have been so nice to have had and being able to access these top analytics in the top left and the bottom bottom left. If you look at that's can be actually looked at on a mobile device with our solution. So and then just for fun, using a demo, doing a mid split and just throwing all the downstream at it, you can see how we can achieve, 13 or so gig on the downside. So that's just that side's just for fun. We're just showing how much download you can get from it. So and even still doing a mid split and being able to get a gig upstream. So.
Yeah, that is just a tremendous amount of bandwidth.
It is. Again, I kind of some of these slides overlap just a little bit, but this takes a really clear snapshot of being able to have 13.3 gig on the down and 1.5 on the up with a high split, and on 1.8. So when you look at that. That's 8 OFDMs on the downside, all the way to 16 gig, or 15 or 16 megahertz, 1600 megahertz, 157 on the upside with 3 OFDMAs, and one of them being partial. So when we look at some, even getting down to 396 split, we have a lot of deployments in the industry right now that are doing a 204 at start but being able to migrate to the 396, and then you see the extra capacity you get there, being able to do 11.7 gig down 3.7 with 7 OFDM and 5 OFDMAs. And then down at the bottom, it's this 9.3 6 gig. This bottom deployment, I mean, the middle deployment is done today live with customers. Just for anybody that might be interested in knowing that, it's being deployed in Minnesota today, which is very, very cool to know that that's actually live. These aren't just lab stuff, but that exact configuration is being deployed in service. I don't spend a lot of time, but I think it's good to actually see the product that's here, the product that's shipping. This is not vaporware or hey, we'll have this in a little bit. Here's some demo stuff. This is actually shipping product. And what we're showing here is our zero touch intelligent node with 4 fixed diplexers. So you're able to start at a 204, 384, and go to 396 and 684 in the future by just changing diplexers and some configuration. And then we have some really neat stuff here where we're able to do PON in the same node. So we have just a traditional layer 2, layer 3 switch with, in this case, we have our FIN, which is our virtual OLT port that we can run on a 10 gig Ethernet. So, and then you can share the 10 gig connection on the upload, or you can use DWDM technology. So, very wide open for that. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. So we call, the PON side being an edge out. You can do DOCSIS. So you leave your existing plant, still be able to achieve multi-symmetrical gig type connectivity. But then if you're probably not going to run fiber if you have a new complex being built, a medical center, a college, a campus, a dorm, hotel, motel, any of that kind of stuff. So you probably run fiber, but you only build to the node and you have the capabilities of supporting any of the 4 technologies. We say DOCSIS, FDD, FDX, and Flexi. And Flexi is going to be a software upgrade. It won't be a total hardware swap. So that's good to know. PON, we just add it to it. So won't spend a lot of time, but again, our unified RPD been shipping the FDD. It's been shipping for over a year and a half now. So it's out in the field. Our nodes have been started shipping GA. We've been shipping LA or limited availability for a good 6 or 8 months now. So that's really kind of it. I'm open for questions. I kind of went through it a little faster than planned, but I wanted to make up for the time we lost. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach or ask away, and we'll answer them.
I am looking for questions or asking for questions, but I'm not seeing any so far.
Yeah.
So I know locally, at least locally, I've talked to some of the supervisors and some of the techs, and they are installing the FDX 1.8 gig nodes and also doing amp swaps, so they're getting the full FDX benefit, and so they do seem to be actively engaged in utilizing that bandwidth. I do not know what kind of speed offerings, if any, if they're opening to those nodes that actually have already been upgraded to FDX.
So Gregory says Q&A is disabled.
Yeah, I don't. I apologize, Gregory. You can put any questions in the chat because I have not figured out how to activate the Q&A. So I apologize for that not being active.
Yeah, and we'll be glad to post this deck up. So Timothy asked if we could post the deck up. Not for sure. Yeah, we'll share that deck.
Yeah. So what I can probably do for the deck is if you send it to me, Chris, or send me a link, I can download it if it's not too big. And then I can hopefully post that or get that posted on our website, on the Golden Gate chapter website. So Perry Callis does have a question. How wide is the dead zone on the diplex?
It's about 156 megahertz.
And that's on the soft diplex, I presume, right, Chris?
Yes, on the other side, it would be a little. I can't recall exactly, but it's right out the same on the fixed diplexers as well. The soft diplexer is still a little unknown what we're going to be able to do there, but there is that. And then I think we saw Michael ask a question about technical challenges regarding implementation. The biggest technical challenge is overbuild. Is the rebuild, excuse me, not overbuild, but the rebuild. I think, having to switch out some actives and passives would be the most complicated piece of that. As far as provisioning and how the virtual core works, it's pretty much the same. It's very easy from that standpoint. Change the CPE and config once the plant's built, but being able to do that is probably the biggest deal.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just because you put in 1.8 gigahertz actives and actives and nodes, you don't necessarily get 1.8 gigahertz. But the beauty of DOCSIS 4.0 is that you will get some additional bandwidth, even if it's out in the roll-off. You may not get the full potential bandwidth, but you will increase your ability to deliver more bandwidth, even with just doing the nodes and the amps. The question remains how much for each customer, because it will vary.
You definitely can use the roll-off. I have customers doing it live today, for sure. I think the question asked a while ago to answer, what I'm seeing deployed now is more of a symmetrical 2 gig offer from service providers that are offering this, in the 2.5 gig to 3 gig range, and being able to do symmetrical.
Now, your customers, are they using FDD for that or FDX?
FDD. Everybody but one vendor, and you can figure out who that is without me saying, is using FDD.
Yeah.
It might start with a C.
No, I think most of us know who it is. So,
yeah.
And I can say it. Comcast is one of the few that's doing FDX, and I have to say that's a very exciting technology. But also FDD, just the amount of bandwidth it delivers is, it's really something. That doesn't give you quite the flexibility you get with FDX, but it certainly gives you a lot of bandwidth. So, Gregory had a question. How difficult is it to get 1.8 gigahertz? Figure this is a major hurdle in deployment. So it doesn't sound like there's any hurdle, is there, to get the product, right?
To get to 1.8 in a conditioned environment's easy, right? But to get the full 1.8 out in the plant, it's really about age, quality. You hate to say, demographics, but to some degree, it's got to be demographics, right? Because, in mild areas, your cable plant weathers better, and in harsher conditions, it doesn't weather as well. But I can tell you that we are deploying 1.8 in Alaska right now. So there also is and I will be totally transparent. It's in a targeted deployment. I don't want to call it LA or pre-deployment, but it's a targeted deployment. So we are able to achieve some of those speeds, but that, again, that's about cable quality and some of that stuff there as well. We've learned a lot of lessons to get to 1.8 over the last few years. So it's been a good lesson learned. And we've had a good bit of success with that.
So Perry says, he wanted confirmation that you can actually look at the spectrum using the Harmonic Pebble app?
With what we call COS Central is that app, and COS Central you actually can do an upstream an FFT forward test, right on the app on your iPhone, iPad, tablet, Android. We don't care the device. So it's you can actually do that in the field. Yes, sir.
Do you have a live view we could take a look at of that? Or
If I can pause sharing for a minute,
yeah.
and I should not be sharing now, correct?
You're not sharing, no.
Okay, good. I can't show all my secrets, right? I got to keep some of them.
Got to keep some of them in the bag, right, for later, for when you
I
need
don't
them.
want to call from HR going, "Hey, what?" No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah.
I'll pull up a live demo for sure. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great if we could actually just take a look.
Ay. Come on, buddy. Just a second.
Carlos is asking, were the slides we were looking at earlier, were they live view or just recorded views?
Just recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were live recordings from customer.
When you did them, they were live.
Yeah, they were lab. They weren't done in our labs. They were done in a customer lab, which is
okay.
That's a great question and kind of intriguing. So I have one customer that I asked, because this is real-time data.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us who it is. Right. Well, you could just display it.
You're probably going to see it, and there's not a lot I can do about it. But
okay, I didn't know that. So.
But it's okay because I did ask for this. So this is a provider in Kentucky, and he the general manager actually sits on the board. So for SCTE, so but super awesome guy. I've known him for years, and he goes, "Sure, man. Anytime you want to do a demo." So. We're going to do a demo. So as you can see, I'm live here. This is part of our software suite for managing product called, like I said, this is COS Central and COS Sonar, and there's COS Insights. There's COS Sensei. So it's part of our product suite, but if you look at you can see that we have two upstreams on this. So they're using both upstream ports, and then I can start a live capture, and this is a live capture in the field right now. So you can see the allocation of your I call them haystacks. So you can see your haystacks. You can see the FFT. Max and current and average. You can see your noise max, average out through the spectrum. So this actually can be saved. You actually can you can turn whatever you want to see off. If you just want to see your narrow band noise, if there, you can look at it. If you want to see a blended average, you can do that. So this being and then your average noise. So yes, you can. This is done. At this point, I'm on my computer, just in Safari in a web browser. But you can run this on your phone as well, and it'll adjust the screen. So the other neat thing we can do is when you go back, you actually can save that, and you can actually go back and look at pre-recorded sessions. There's the session I just recorded, and we can play it back, or we can send that to say technical assistance, or save it for later, whatever, we can share it right out via text, email, however your computer will allow you to share it, whether it's Windows or Mac. So there's a live demo, and I'll delete that so my customer won't have some erroneous, but We have a whole suite, a lot of tools that we utilize to manage the core. So, someone asked, Carlos asked about specific tools. We have specific tools that we develop to work with the virtual core, but we still support the legacy tools that people are used to dealing with as well.
Excellent. Any more questions for the audience while we have Chris with us? I think Timothy is typing, so let's see if something comes up here.
I'm gonna have to get out there to see you guys at the chapter to meet Carlos and Timothy and Perry and Gregory. Love the questions.
Yeah, lots of questions here. So no, just Timothy is giving us a round of applause. And again,
thanks,
I
Timothy.
want to thank Chris for taking the time to do this presentation. And also I'd like to thank the audience for bearing with us and sticking with us. I thought everybody would drop off by the time we got going, but we got through this. Okay. So again, thank you. Thank you all for joining. And if you have any, if you want to see this deck, I will get it from Chris, and I will try to put it on the Golden Gate chapter website for look for that in a few days. And we hope to have this posted. So
sounds good.
With that, I will call it a day. And oh, here we go. No, Carlos just commented, I am new to SCT and just trying out figure out what I can learn. Again, Carlos, take time to get into our website and look at the website. We really there's just so much opportunity for training and development that may not be available through your employer, but
I would greatly recommend that. I would greatly
Yeah.
recommend that. At each chapter, they do a really good job of, at least from my experience. Sorry, Woodford. I just wanted
That's okay.
to say they had done it. Everybody has done a great job helping people and learn. So really appreciate it. And again, thank you guys for allowing me to present. I'll share this. And we'll look forward to maybe catching up with you guys soon at an event. And thanks again.
Okay, well, thank you again, Chris. Everybody have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you in next month's webinar, which we don't have a date nailed down yet, but the topic will most likely be precision fault locating on coaxial cables. So hope to get that set up and get that out soon. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you.